Now that we've got the fiber optic cable blown one direction and we got the slack we need down that direction, now we're going to take this cable here. You'll see we're going to set up. We're going to go back and figure eight the cable off of the rest of the reel so that we can blow that another direction. Now that we've got that laid off, now we take our fiber optic blowing unit off of the back of our figure eight device and we put our figure eight tube on here. We can go from blowing to figure eighting in about 2 minutes. We'll take this, it's got the split tube. We don't have an end, it's already in the inner duct. So we'll take the split tube, lay our cable in there, close the door on that. We'll place this in here, and we're set up to figure eight. We'll put the tire down, just like when we were feeding the air block. Now we're merely going to figure eight the cable off on the ground. Now, as we did when we were blowing fiber optic cable, now we're back here to figure eighting. So we're going to set the tension on this brake again so that we can stop our reel when we get close to the end. Now we got this brake set. We've got our tires parked about 2 inches away from our reel. Now when we get ready to figure eight the fiber optic cable, we're going to have the reel turning freely. When we get close to the end and we need to stop for any reason, what we do is we put tension on this brake. We've got the hydraulic motor on this system back on the back powering that, so it is not here. We would never use the brake when the hydraulic motor is on. When we get ready to get to the end, we will have that reel spinning freely. When I go to stop at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage these tires down against the edge of the reel, and then I'm going to stop powering the tires back there so that we can avoid the backlash of the fiber optic cable. Now that we're getting ready for the fiber optic cable to figure eight it, we come up here, start our motor, take the throttle just a little off the bottom, fire up our engine. Now we're going to get her up to about half, 3/4 throttle. Now in the figure eighting process, we're going to slowly start the tires till we get the reel moving. Once we get the reel moving and the cable coming out, we'll gradually speed up the tires and start laying the cable out in a figure eight. One of the things we don't worry about anymore is how this cable lays out in the figure eight pattern. When we bring her back up, that's when we'll deal with any issues we had. You'll notice when I'm laying this out, I'm just trying to stay even with the cable coming out of the chute. Try not to get ahead of it or behind it. Now that we have figure eighted the cable off on the ground, we've got the remainder of the cable there in the figure eight. We're going to use our portable hydraulic system to blow off the figure eight pile back through this vault, down through another vault, and then we need a bunch more cable out of that other vault to go beyond. So we're going to have the cable trailer down on that end, rolling the wire up as it comes out while we're blowing this in. Once we get it rolled up on there, then we're going to figure eight that back off. Then we'll have another figure eight pile to go off again, at which time then if we need more cable out, we can have the trailer go down to the other end and roll up the slack coming out as we go there. Doing this way avoids us ever having to flip an eight. If we use the trailer to assist it through, figure eight it back off, our end is always on top. It's never on the bottom of a figure eight pile, as it is when we use a bull wheel or a capstan wheel. We find ourselves always having to flip the figure eight back over to get the end off of the bottom. When we get ready to put these hydraulic hoses on, it was important that the last time we used this motor, we shut the gas engine off first, wiggle the valve to release the pressure on either side of that motor so that when we disconnect these hoses, that we're able to connect them again the next time. If it happens that there's pressure on this motor, what you have to do is crack the seal on the motor, on the hose, release the pressure, then you'll be able to couple your hoses. Without pressure, they should clamp right on. Now we're Going to get the air hose hooked up here from the bottom of our blower up here to our valve. This is our air valve. You'll see a lot more in detail setup if you refer to the fiber blowing process. This is just another one of the things we do here. We've got a lot of this on video in the fiber blowing section. Now we're going to hook up this small motor to our figure 8'ing device. Here we are. Lock this into position. We got that in there now. Now we've got the figure 8'ing device and the blower set up here so that we can use the portable hydraulic system to actually operate the blowing system to bring that cable off of that figure 8 pile. Again, if you want to refer back to our fiber blowing video, you'll see all of the things that come into play when we're putting all this stuff together. Now we're ready to fire up the engine and start blowing fiber. Starting our portable system, we turn the switch to on, make sure our valve is in neutral, turn the gas on, turn our air on. Now that we've blown this down through as far as we're going to go to this box, we need a bunch more cable down line. So what we're going to do is blow from that end like we were off the portable device and the figure 8 pile. And we're going to use the trailer to roll up the extra cable we need down line. Once we get this rolled up on the trailer, then we'll figure 8 it back off again. And then the end will be on top and we'll be able to take off and go on the next run. What we can do here with the big, heavy, large reels of cable, we can turn these reels with the cable trailer. Not that this reel is one of the big, heavy, large ones, but to simulate what we can and will want to do, on the big, heavy ones, we'll use the trailer to turn the reel and the portable fiber blowing device to actually push the cable in the duct. What we've got here is our auto luber. With this, we got our 5-gallon bucket of lubricant here, and with this pump, we can add lubricant down line away from the fiber blower. Where this really comes into play is when we need an excessive amount of cable through a short run, where we're running maybe 10,000 feet of cable through this duct. Eventually, it'll start getting dry in there. With this, we can just reach down and pump this periodically and lube our pipe with a blowing process in motion. That was the end of the demonstration of the portable hydraulic system, how we use it. Thanks for watching.